We did it! We did it! We have 100,000 music nerds on this channel. That's wild. What are you guys doing here? Why do you guys follow me? I have no idea. Hey guys, my name is Bad Snacks, and I can't believe that there are 100,000 people watching this channel. Today we have kind of a fun video where I am gonna just talk about my experience with YouTube. I know that a lot of you who follow this channel are interested in starting your own YouTube channels, so I figured it might be good to kind of talk about how I got started, how I ran things / have been running things, why I have almost quit more times than I can count, and why I'm still here. Additionally, we are doing a giveaway. This is the first time I've ever done a giveaway, so this is gonna be really fun. I'm partnering with Antares, the maker of Autotune, and we are giving away a 6-month and a 1-year subscription to Autotune Unlimited, which is basically a bundle package of all of Autotune's hit plugins that make you sound like this, or they make you sound like this, or they make you sound like this. It's not just a bunch of classic Autotune plugins, but it's also their artist effects plugins, and I'm gonna even show you how I've used some of those plugins in my own music. The link to enter the giveaway is in the description below, so go check that out. My experience with YouTube started in 2017, and basically what happened is I was making the transition from singer-songwriter into producing, and I was on YouTube looking at all these different tutorials, and I remember coming across this one Pat Ryan tutorial, and I looked at it and I was like, this looks really fun. I think I could do this. So I recorded my first video, and I wasn't even going by Bad Snacks at the time. And the video quality was terrible, the audio quality was terrible. Long story short, I make music. Whenever I put an idea together, I just name it after a bad snack. It's just like a thing that happens. And I really like these walkthrough videos, so I figured maybe I would give back to the community a little bit. Maybe you learn something, maybe it's just entertaining, I don't know. The point of making that video was that I wanted to publicly document my process into learning how to produce. And it's crazy because that's exactly what ended up happening, is that, you know, by virtue of creating content and sharing it and kind of seeing how it was going over with an audience, I was able to keep making content and keep learning and getting better every time I made something. And I think the reason that the first video actually even picked up any traction is because I had just gotten the Organelle. It was my first synthesizer ever. And it also happened to be kind of a trending synthesizer. So I put it on Reddit, I put it on r/synthesizers. It picked up some traffic, and I think people were kind of interested in the fact that like I was a violinist getting into electronic production. So when I started getting that feedback and that interest, I was like, okay, let's try this out. So I was making a lot of videos. It was pretty inconsistent, but I would just make little beat breakdown videos where I was like, I'm trying this new technique, or check out how I use Logic here. And what happened is that I was kind of slowly building up this core base of people that were really interested in what I was doing and how I was learning. I think the big kind of jumping off point for me was in 2018, somebody from Google/YouTube actually reached out to me, and they were like, we need music for our royalty-free audio libraries. And that was like my first big girl gig. And then after that point, I was able to fund myself into making Neat Tape 1, which was my first like official release as Bad Snacks, like my first actual body of work. And that's when things really started taking off. So between the audio library stuff and then Neat Tape 1 and kind of my evolving both on YouTube but also in the LA beat scene and starting to really play shows, I think that's kind of how I started to garner some attention, both online and, you know, in this scene. And a lot of you know that things really took off with the 4 Producers Challenge. I think that's like the closest to viral I've ever been, and I will forever be grateful to Andrew Huang for that. That experience was really wild for me because I think I had 5,000 subscribers, and in the course of a couple of days I had 25,000 subscribers. But I think that's when things really became very legitimate, and I think that's where most of you came from. In addition to doing beat breakdowns on this channel, I do gear reviews. And when I first started doing those, I think it was the Maris Enzo. That was a video that I did completely because I thought it was just a really interesting pedal. So I made that just for fun. It kind of more or less opened the floodgates of like doing gear reviews and doing software reviews, and that's become obviously like a huge part of this channel. And I just want to be really clear that I do not review anything that I'm not actually super into on this channel. Everything that I review, that I tell you guys about, I use in real life, and you can go to my Twitch to like verify that. But I get this comment a lot, and I think a lot of us like look at, you know, people who have YouTube channels that are like doing sponsorships and stuff, and a lot of it kind of goes to this bitter place of like, oh, they're selling out, or like they don't really mean it, they're just turning into an advertisement. And I totally understand that. And another really interesting thing that I just kind of want to like bring to your guys' attention is that when an artist has sponsorship deals, that's how they fund themselves. And like the companies that I work with give me complete and total artistic reign. I can do whatever I want, like as opposed to, you know, having to do releases for a label necessarily. Sometimes there's a little bit of artistic compromise there, but for me, I do exactly what I want. I publish the music exactly how I want, and for me, that's way more important. So let's talk about the ugly. I feel like I've been pretty transparent, but there have been a lot of times where I've really wanted to quit YouTube altogether. And that's for a couple reasons. One is that YouTube is a really brutal arena. YouTube is one of the only social media platforms where the algorithm is really based on discoverability. So a lot of the traction and traffic that I get on my channel is from people who don't follow me. And when that happens, there's a lot of people that kind of just like look at me and they're like, well, what does she know? Like, what's this bitch doing? You know, to some extent, I can kind of understand that, but you know, it's extremely scrutinizing. It's also incredibly misogynistic. Let me just put it this way, you know, imagine that you're putting your work and your thoughts out there, and every single hypercritical thought that you have of your own work, somebody verbalizes. Somebody that you don't even know is verbalizing your critical thoughts of yourself. Like, that is a total mind f***. I've really struggled with social media over the past few years because I'm just here to talk about synths and beats. I'm a musician, man. Like, I'm just here and I'm sharing what I know, like, as I learn it. And the fact that people can be so cruel about that has really thrown me for a loop and has really dissuaded me from pursuing a lot of things in the music industry, because it just gets uglier in a lot of ways. And I don't want to fall out of love with music. So that being said, the thing that keeps me in the game is, this is gonna sound so corny, but it's you guys. It really is you guys. I love teaching. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people connect the dots. When I see other people's enthusiasm for the same art form, it makes me feel like, how could I give this up, you know? Like, how could I ever walk away from this? So that's why I'm still here. Being in any kind of spotlight can be massively disorienting. It'll throw your ego through a roller coaster. The scrutiny can be a lot. It can be really challenging. You know, people are constantly reading you wrong, and there's no way to explain to people, you know, how to perceive you. Despite all of that, My gratitude knows no bounds. I do acknowledge that my career would not look the same without this channel, and that this channel has given me a space to grow and to learn and to connect and to, you know, hopefully be helpful. And as a teacher, you know, that means everything to me. So that's kind of why I'm not really going anywhere. So once again, we are doing a giveaway. We're doing the 6-month and 1-year free subscription for AutoTune Unlimited, and the link to enter the giveaway is in the description. Thank you guys for being here. Happy 100K. Bye. Bean, how stoked are you that we hit this milestone? He does not care. He has no concept of the internet. Good for you, buddy.